Hello, beautiful souls. This is Radha, and this
How charming.
is Precious.
Tell me, why does your breath smell so
Very
bad?
naughty but amazing girl.
Have you been rinsing your mouth with an ogre piss again?
And isn't she cute? I wanted to just come on here because I wanted to share something very peculiar that happened to me the other night, actually, the night before last. I was sleeping and I was trying to sleep, but I was having a very hard time sleeping. And I felt kind of tired and a little wired. Um, I was just laying in bed, and sometimes when I do that, I start to have these lucid visions. And so what I saw was kind of alarming. It was this little girl, dark hair, and she was a beautiful little girl, and she was standing somewhere that was very desolate. I don't know how else to describe it, like a desert or something like that. Um, and she was standing there by herself, what looked like by herself. And then shortly after, I saw a fire, and she was like in the fire, and I was watching her as she like transformed into like a version of her that was like a cartoon. So it's almost like her body transformed into a cartoon. And what I got is that she had transformed into another version. So there was like a death of her physical body, and she was still very much alive, but in a different form. So I went, and the next day I was having a conversation with my friend who's a healer in Africa. And and I was telling her about this, that like, wow, I had the strangest dream last night. I saw this little girl, and she was in this desolate place, and there was a fire. And what she said is, oh, well, it sounds like she was a ghost. And then I stopped and I listened and I closed my eyes, and then I heard the crying. So, being that we're both, empaths and healers and psychics, we tuned into her. We tuned into her energy, and then we found, yeah, indeed, she was a girl who had been abused and hurt, very badly abused, in ways that no child should ever experience. Um, and what was worse is that she was disposed of in this fire. So she was actually like so she had found my energy and was like clinging to my energy. So I said, okay, you know what? She can't be here like in connected like to me. Um, I'm only a conduit to help her get back to where she needs to go. So, my friend was with me, and we were guiding this girl back into the heart of the Creator where she could get restored. And when we went up there into the heart of the Creator, which is something that we do in the Lemoyne Code healing by Maya the shaman that I was taught, we can restore a lot. We do our energy work from that place. And when we got there, we both said, oh my God, there's so many more of these souls, of these children that have been trapped in between. And we were both a little horrified, but also totally game to help them out. So we were ushering them in, is how I'd call it, ushering them into the space of the heart of the Creator. And in this space, we saw so many of them, and they were all traumatized, like severely traumatized. Anyone that says like this level of abuse isn't real, that it's a conspiracy theory, I'm so sorry, but that's not that's a conspiracy theory, that it's not real. So we were in shock to see that there was droves. It felt like hundreds of thousands of children and their souls, and they were fractured and they were damaged. And that's what happens when someone experiences abuse, is there's a fracturing, there's an actual damage that happens to the soul. The soul fractures and it splits apart, and a lot of people are walking around and acting normal, but they actually have fractures in their soul. So we gathered all their soul fragments and called them back, and we did this whole prayer and ritual to help with the Creator, to help restore them back to their true blueprint, their blueprint. Because what happens is that sometimes souls get stuck in she wanted to jump down. They get stuck in between realms. Okay, that's not a cool place to be. It's a place to be, but it's not the best place to be. And that happens if someone dies very traumatically, if there's just many reasons. And I've asked this question many times, my friends, myself, because I am someone, along with my mother, who sees, you know, people who have passed away, but they haven't been able to transition or go anywhere. Like, we've always seen, and I've always seen people like on the side of the road. I do a lot of cross country road trips, and I love to do that because I'm always, you know, we're working on the land, regridding, bringing light to different places. And so I always say, Starseeds, we have the most unusual jobs. We won't put it in our title, but that's what we do. And one of the jobs that I have is to help bring forward, just bring more light codes and light grids to different areas. So I travel at least once or twice a year across the country, and that's the purpose of that. Okay, so getting back to the kids, they were in really bad shape and they needed support. So together we were like we were both on both sides of them energetically, and we were just infusing them with healing, like healing their heart chakra, bringing this emerald green into their heart, infusing and flushing them with this pillar, with the pillars of light. And calling forth back their soul fragments, because that was something that was compromised during their trauma. She's expressing that right now. It's amazing how dogs, like, they pick up on what you're saying if you're really connected with them. So that being said, we realized that they were finally at a place where they could get to the next level, because there are many levels that we go through. And you may have the same question that I have, and that is, why didn't Creator just pick these babies up? You know, why didn't Creator pick up these people that I see on the side of the road that are in like 1920s outfits? Why are they stuck here? Why are they looking at me to help them? And when I prayed about that and I asked about that, Creator said, well, because, you're my angels, you are my hands and my feet and my arms. Your prayers make a difference. You are my earth angels. And so I just wanted to remind you, you're an earth angel, and that you make a difference. If you pray for good things for people, it makes a difference. If you see a soul that has lost its way and it's just wandering, and you ask Creator to pick that soul up and take it to the heart of the Creator and to rejuvenate it so that it can actually go higher, that makes a difference. It really does. So I want you to know that, because we all have to do this work. I mean, those of us that can see, and everyone can actually see. Some people actually, but they just choose to block it out, right? I've made very clear, like, distinct rules. Like, okay, like, I have this ability to see, but I don't want to see in my home. Okay, that's not something I don't want to. Like, what I saw was a vision. It wasn't in my home. So I've made sort of rules and boundaries so that I'm not inundated, because having those psychic and intuitive and downloads and you start to see things all over, right? Your multidimensional senses are so heightened, and it can be really stressful, actually. So that's just the truth. Like, you just see stuff, right? It's not that you're crazy. You're not just seeing stuff. You're seeing be over through the veil, because there's a veil. Literally, people who think that you're crazy because you see stuff, it just means that their third eye is not open. They can't see it yet, right? And that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. So many times people have tried to put down people who have these abilities because they're afraid. That's why they did the witch hunts, you know? They did the witch hunts so that they could take these seers, and they wanted to chop them up, burn them up, and destroy them. And I'm like, you can't do that this lifetime, actually. It's not cool, because I'm perfectly sane. And many people who have these abilities don't share that because they don't want those issues, right? So that being said, we know that people who are crazy, they never think they are, and people that are sane, they know that they're a little crazy. We all have a little craziness inside of us, but that's manifested in actions, right? So when people do crazy things, and people are getting crazier and crazier, we were told that this was the time of that more light was going to be coming to Earth. The veil is going to thin. You're going to be able to see more. So if you are seeing more and you haven't seen before, the Akashic records, the infinite cosmic records, are going to be more open now. So you're not going to go crazy. Okay? Like, don't ever think that. And I learned a long time ago how to shut off my abilities. And I did shut them off for such a long time. I was like, this doesn't belong here. I don't belong here. I never felt like I belonged on Earth, because I'm a starseed, and I know that there's many of us here. This isn't this is our home base for now, but we came here and we actually had these abilities when we came, but we actually, in order to function really well in society, turn them off, shut them off, numb, suit up, put on that face and move forward. And so that's how I coped with my life, or I used to cope with different kinds of abuse, drinking and all kinds of stuff. So there are many ways that we mask these because we don't want to be different. And all we really wanted was to be loved, to be recognized, to be okay being how we really are, instead of pretending that we didn't have this stuff going on. So that's why we do the mastery. That's why I created a mastery program at Goddess Code Academy, so we can master our skills. And instead of being a victim and feeling like that, we actually get empowered. And I'm all about empowerment, activating your gifts to the fullest so that you can be fully empowered.
Emotions are, in fact, a creation that your mind has forecasted, but I would never try to get you to emotionally express yourself.
Oh, what? Wait a darn thinking moment there.